Hey, Johnny Anarchy here. Don't mind me, just sneaking up on this dude. I got the bastard. Welcome to another Ghosts of Tabor video. Today I'm going to do something a little different, more of a commentary video. There are two main things that I would like to talk about today. How I've been playing this game this wipe, and what I really want in this game. So let's start with how I've been playing this game this wipe. So before VR, I mainly played games like Apex, CSGO, and Valorant. But my main game was Apex, which is a battle royale of course. And with that said, I very much played this game like a battle royale. How, you may ask? Well, very similar to Apex, you start with nothing. With that train of thought, I go into raid with nothing at all. And if I were to be killed and sent back to the lobby, or in this case, sent back to the safe house, without missing a beat, I jump back into a game without gearing up. When it comes to looting, my main priority is only guns. I know it's pretty dumb, but I love the thrill of starting with nothing and exfilling with loot and or a few kills under my belt. In actuality, there are 3 phases that I went through during this wipe, and this is just the first phase. Now there are just a few things I've learned about playing like this. What I've learned is the best spawn locations that are in silo playing as a naked. And I would like to share this info with you real quick. Here's a map of Missile Silo. Level 3 will be the best place to spawn in my opinion. The majority of the time, the locker area will have guns to loot from. From my experience, 90% of the time when I spawn there, raids are just better because I start with a gun and easy access to the stairs. The second best spawn is at level 0 in tunnels. From your spawn point, you can immediately get to the elevator shaft and go up to the elevator room with all the goodies inside. 50% of the time, from my experience, the elevator room is unlooted or untouched. And sometimes you could go further up the elevator shaft and exfil. The other 50% of the time, the elevator room is looted or I end up being killed by other players, but it's worth it just to check. The worst place to spawn as a naked is in level 2 kitchen or office, unless you're geared up of course. The reason is because there's 2 Phoenix patrolling, and if you make noise while fighting, then players will end up zeroing in on you. And the whole point is to get guns and exfilling quickly, in and out type shit, you know what I'm saying? This area is also a hotspot for experienced players because of Vault Room. So expect players going your way or fucking camping the area. I really hope this info helps you on your naked runs, or at least when you're really poor, or at the start of wipe. Now that I've given you this info, it's time for phase 2. Once my hideout or safe house is full to the brim with guns, I start to bring guns into raid. Then I start to grind trader missions until I reach level 4 or 5. Shiro, Minty, and Spectre are the only trader missions that I do. Phase 3 is where I allow myself to buy guns from the market. Now I know this is a bit convoluted, but I formulated a way to play this game that brings me the most enjoyment out of this game that is a bit lackluster at the moment. Now I will admit, I've already found myself a bit bored with this game. Even though each raid is an adventure within itself, I still found myself wanting more. Now it's time to talk about things that I want added to the game. Now I'm talking about content wise, for example like more guns and maps. But we all know those things are coming, and even the devs have already double confirmed that. I am specifically talking about PvE content like more bosses, better AI, day and night cycle, server capacity, and better monuments or locations. Let me further explain myself. Let's start off with the bosses. So when it comes to the bosses, I would like there to be a few scattered around the map, especially in big maps like the Island of Tabor. At the moment, we only have one boss in Silo, called Kritek, or whatever the fuck. He rarely spawns, which is kinda dumb in my opinion. Side note, unfortunately I haven't been able to kill him and secure both his mask and his golden SKS. But when I do kill him, I always end up being killed by his guards or other players. Back to what I was talking about. I love the idea of having multiple wacky bosses that look like Kritek and that have lootable wearable masks to show off to other players. There can also be a boss called the Mad Scientist that spawns in labs on Island of Tabor. Let's change how we encounter bosses. Have bosses be a permanent fixture to each map, or have them spawn in when you complete a challenge. Like for example, kill a certain amount of AI or players in a raid, and or push buttons that are spread around the map to open up the boss room. Or simply have a keycard to open up the boss room. I want all bosses to have extreme levels of difficulty, which means it's going to take a team of your most skilled friends to take down a boss. Let's move on into better AI, or PvE. I would like AI to have better animations and act like they have some sense. Have them run to cover when shot at. Have them peek corners and shoot you. Have them retreat when reloading or when they get low on health. Things like that, you know what I mean? I would like to be a little afraid of them, and I would be if they were just a bit more intelligent. Lastly, the AI looks a bit stiff and weird when they are running around, so I hope the devs work on their animation, which is a nitpick on my part. Look, I know things are gonna get better when it comes to the AI, but right now, the AI is just cannon fire. The main reason why I focus so much on PvE and bosses is because, similar to games like Diablo and how they do PvE, I like the idea of going into a building and clearing out the phoenixes or AI and getting to the end of the building to fight a boss with your teammates, or maybe solo if you're a pro. It is my belief that better PvE experience will bring more players to the game, and if not that, then it gives existing players more challenging and exciting things to look forward to in raid. The day and night cycle. It basically explains itself, but let me elaborate. Let's have a reason to use night vision a lot more. What I would like the devs to do is when you start a raid, have it be midday, have the sun slowly go over the sky, then 10 or 20 minutes before the raid time runs out, have the sun completely gone and have the map go dark. Island of Tabor is a great map for this. I know in the next update they're going to make the island nighttime, but I really don't know how I feel about that. It looks like we're going to end up with 2 dark maps. Either way, I'm excited for new content. There's something real quick that I want to mention before we move on. It's somewhat related, I guess. I would like to be able to shoot out light bulbs and have inside areas be dark. Wouldn't that be cool? Also, AI should react to darkness too. Like have them shoot their guns erratically towards sound. Or have them pull out a flashlight. I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Okay, up next on the list, server capacity. So right now, Silo has the capacity of 6 and Island has 12. When it comes to Missile Silo, I would like at least a capacity of 9. But being a small map, I'm still okay with the capacity of 6. With that said, if the devs were to expand on Silo, like adding more rooms or hallways, then they need to up the capacity. Now if you haven't noticed by now, the Island of Tabor is definitely not my favorite map. In my head, I call it Island of Walking Simulator. It's just a bit boring, and to be honest, the main reason that is that there are times where I don't run into a single soul that isn't a phoenix. With that said, they need to up that shit, like for reals. At least 18 players. I'm playing Ghosts of Tabor, not Ghost Town. Now I've been thinking about a new spawning system for a big map like Island, so they can keep it at 12 capacity, but anytime somebody dies in raid, it opens up a slot for somebody to spawn in. Then 15 or 20 minutes before the time runs out, spawning completely stops. Then let the last players duke it out. Just some food for thought. What do you guys think? Finally, we're on the last subject. Better locations and monuments. What do I really mean by that? So let me set the scene for you. Let's imagine the devs at a building called the Ammo Factory. You and your team of friends go there and you clear out the phoenix around the building. Then you start up a machine inside. This is VR. You can interact with shit. You know what I mean? Like pushing buttons, pulling levers, stuff like that. Anyways, once you start up the machine, it triggers an event or challenge. Then you hear a helicopter. The helicopter lands on top of Ammo Factory. Then heavily armed phoenixes and a boss comes out of the helicopter. You and your buddies have to battle them until the machine finishes. Once you defeat the AI, you get a reward. And keeping with the theme of Ammo Factory, you get a fuck ton of ammo out of the machine. Obviously. Anyways, that's what I mean by better locations and monuments. If my example sounds familiar, it's because I stole it from the game Rust and how they do monuments. Personally, I would like the game to have the same intensity as the game Payday when it comes to fighting AI and trying to defend. The devs could do so much better when it comes to locations and monuments. I feel like locations and buildings have to have purpose, you know what I'm saying? Lastly, when I first heard of labs on Island of Tabor months ago, I thought it would be a point of interest. I mean, it is, but I imagine that you can go there and use the laboratory and equipment there to make NRS or nerds or whatever type of heals. But I was so wrong and disappointed. It's just another generic place to go loot, which I'm okay with, but like I said, the whole point of this video is that I want more out of this game. This is a bit off topic, but I mentioned this earlier a few moments ago. The NRS nerd subject, they should add different colored nerds that have different healing speeds similar to a MMO type game. Like for example, you have a gold colored nerd that heals you up real quick. Shit, I got another idea. Imagine going to laboratory and making different colored nerds that heal you up faster or make you run faster. Some bullshit like that. What do you guys think? So that's about it. If you have any great ideas that you would like to see implemented or added in Ghosts of Tabor, then leave a motherfucking comment and just maybe I'll make a video on that in the near future. Now I know this video was a bit whiny, but that's because I like Ghosts of Tabor and I do want this game to be successful. I do think the devs built a solid game, or at least they built a decent foundation to build upon. Combat Waffle Studios has a long way to go to make this game perfect, but they're slowly getting there. And to be honest, I'm quite excited and I'll wait however long it takes. And I'll be a happy camper if they just add a quarter of the shit that I mentioned in this video. Now, out of transparency, it's been a month and a half since I last played this game. And that's because I did almost everything except looting the boss's golden SKS and mask like I mentioned earlier in the video. Also, not to mention, it's buggy as hell sometimes, which is super frustrating. I have recently been playing Contractors VR and Resident Evil 2 VR mod. My next video will be a continuation of my Resident Evil 2 VR series, so subscribe if you want to watch that, and more VR content of course. I will eventually come back to Ghosts of Tabor when the next big update comes out, which is very soon, and I will be live streaming that, so make sure to set up those notifications so you can catch me live.
Yo, what's good? What's good, bro? Where are you running? Why are you running? Did you hear me, bro? Why are you running? You're good, fool. You just grab your shit. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm not gonna kill it naked, fool. The question becomes, can I trust you? Nah, keep that shit, fool. Keep it. Oh, you fucking dick.
Du coup, ouais, faut le fouler quand même.